Here's kind of a crappy Admiral table radio, and I kind of picked this up at the ham swap meet. I think it was $10 or something, just mainly because I felt sorry for it. And I got 5 minutes on the camera, so let's just do a quick checkout overview of this thing and see where it stands, and then we'll do a second video doing whatever to it. But this is interesting how this thing comes apart. It actually, the whole chassis pulls right out of the front of the cabinet. And I don't know why I pulled the knobs off. But anyway, let's take a look at this. This looks kind of Japanese to me. This looks very Japanese to me. And very rusty. Anyway, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spray these controls just because it's so dry and rusty. Then we'll just power it up and see what it does. If it is Japanese, which it is, it probably does not have silver mica disease. The first thing I notice is there's no detent here to this this power switch, so that's probably bad. And the string is loose, and it's not broken, it's just loose, and the spring is collapsed there, so this thing is probably on its way to the dump. I plugged it in, and it appears to be totally quiet. The vacuum bulbs are glowing. At least that one is. I can't tell if the other one's... Oh yeah, that one's glowing. Getting hot. So look at this here. We have that right there is obviously the rectifier diode, and this is some type of wire wound asbestos resistor or something like that. Maybe we should check and see if we got any B+. Checking the voltages on the filter capacitor. We have -1 volt on one lead and -1.3 volts on the other lead. So something is going on here. Taking a look at this, obviously this white wire is our AC coming in. It goes through the resistor, into the diode, out of the diode. It's the red positive lead that goes to the filter capacitor. So we check here, and we have 125 volts AC go onto the other side of the fusible link. We have 12 volts AC. So obviously this is probably open, and we're just measuring some leakage maybe through this capacitor here. Could be a shorted filter cap or a shorted diode causing that to go open. Checking the diode. Come on, stay on there. The ½ volt drop that way, that's good. Checking the resistor, it's wide open on the ohm scale. So anyway, this radio needs a loving home to adopt it, I think. And we'll discuss that in the next video. But guess this is a Admiral 6H4N-1. that came up as a good schematic number. This is the overview. We will do a repair video on this, bring it up on the Variac in part 2. I can't just leave this right here, so what I decided to do is I went and I got a light bulb, and I have the light bulb paralleled across the burnout resistor wire there. And I noticed something else too, which is that these 3 tubes are white caps, and white caps meaning that they've gone to air. Now I've seen that quite a bit with vacuum tube equipment that's been in a wet, damp location or gotten wet. What happens is the pins rust and the air leaks up through the bottom between the hermetic seal of the pins. And I don't recall if these 3 were white when I started this, so it's kind of interesting. Anyway, I'm going to power it up here and we'll see. It's not going to work, but we'll see what happens. I hear some... Well, obviously the audio stage works, but both IFs and that would be the AM converter are all white capped. So I don't even know if this is worth fixing. I got to think about it. Who knows? It's not even really worth making this video on, except maybe that trick.